Okay, it's been a while. Just trying to like.
Yeah, it's been 24 hours.
Just. Welp, here we are on YouTube.
This is ridiculous. I'm sorry to anyone that's watching this channel for the first time because we're doing David Bowie, which is an artist that I would assume people love. I'm sorry that you've come to our channel.
Yeah,
but
I'm sorry.
You're here.
I'm sorry that we're so awesome.
Yeah, we're the best channel ever. Look at our numbers, Nathan.
Yeah, we are the best. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
All right, we really got to stop because there is somebody watching this video for our channel for the first time because of us, because of David Bowie. I don't want to keep rehashing our background on David Bowie. Long story short, Nathan and I, of course, we're in our mid 40s. We know who this man is. We can pick him up in a lineup. We know. We understand. We actually know some of his songs just because we've been around for a little while and he's very popular. But we don't know him. Mm-hmm. So, we did a couple of his videos and we put out requests to people saying, "Hey, tell us some David Bowie to listen to." And through Patreon or PayPal, we'll do those recommendations. And someone did do that. Someone gave us 5 songs to listen to. This is one of those 5.
Very cool.
From David Bowie. Her name is Amanda. Mm-hmm. This is from PayPal request. This is one of her 5. I know this picture. I've seen this picture of David Bowie. I know he did a lot of makeup and looks throughout the years, but this one seems kind of familiar. Is this the Stardust days or
this one's from
Space Alien days, or
wait,
I don't know.
This is from the album by the same name, I think.
No, but I mean, this look was in that era. Like, I don't know I don't know if he, knowing him, he probably changed his look for every single album. I don't know. We're very naive. Again, we should say, if you're coming to our channel
to learn about
because you think we're going to teach you something about David Bowie, you have come to the wrong place. To this day, Nathan and I are still confused why people think reaction channels are informational channels. We don't know what we're listening to. We don't know who this or what this artist may or may not have done at this time. Anyways, it's getting a little bit exhausting sometimes. Why don't you do what you should? Anyways, what we do is Nathan and I will listen to the song for the first time, and then we'll say we like that song, or we'll say we didn't like that song, and that's what we're going to do.
I just want to say, you said doo-doo.
Did I say doo-doo? This is his 6th studio album already. So it's 1973, and this is already his 6th. I know, it's crazy.
This is 73?
Yeah.
Bowie? Okay.
I know, it's great. We talked about, I think his first studio album was 69 or something. So this is back, I say back in the day, but it seemed like a lot of artists back, the 70s, and they released 1 or 2 albums a year almost. So just a lot of energy and a lot of artistry was just flowing in these artists' veins at the time. So, all right, here we go. Without further ado, the song is called Alladin Sane, and it's a play on words, i.e. a boy insane or a lad insane. It's I think it's partly based on his half brother who was a schizophrenic. Okay. So there you go. I did some little bit of research, but again, that's just for the 1 or 2 people who don't know David Bowie. But that's all we know. Without further ado, let's check out this title track from the album Alladin Sane.
Okay. For some reason, I thought this would be 80s.
Yeah, it's 73. Yeah.
never sensational. Paris or maybe hell. I'm waiting, clutches of sad remains. Waits for Aladdin Sane. You'll make it. We'll love Aladdin Sane. Millions weep a fountain just in case of sunrise. We'll love Aladdin Sane. We'll love Aladdin Sane. We'll love Aladdin
Okay, so I'm gonna. I cheated. I cheated.
Okay. I sort of cheated.
hear
Not
it?
really. I looked something.
No, I
up too,
cheated.
but I didn't cheat.
Okay, but maybe you're gonna comment what I'm gonna comment on, because I always wonder when people give us songs to listen to. There's a reason.
Oh, okay.
Like, meaning there's a reason why somebody. Just like when we share songs with each other, the song means something to us, or there's a part of the song that's like there's something like why this song, okay?
Right.
And so when that piano kicked in, I was like, this piano playing is crazy. And after the first 10 or 15 seconds, 20 seconds, I was like, oh, it's still going. Oh, there's something here is going on. It sounded like a man possessed. And so the first thought I had was this song's about, Aladdin Sane. So I had the thought before reading that, this is like almost like somebody in a straitjacket,
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yep.
in turning, trying to break free of their own sanity or insanity, and they're clawing their way through their thoughts. So the solo, though sounding disjointed and crazy, though it's not. It fits the. And then you got the piano going all over the place, but it's like it doesn't flow like proper thoughts would have flow. Now, Is that what you read? So David Bowie had this to say about this. Really cool, man. Every time I read about David Bowie, he seems more and more cool. But in 1999, he says this. He said this in 1999. So this is now at that point, the song was 26 years old already at that point. So he says, "I've had more communication in the last 26 years about that one solo from the 11 albums I've done on my own, the 6 that I've done with other groups, hundreds of pieces I've done with other people, and the 3,000 pieces of music I've written to date. And I don't think there's been a week in those 26 years that have gone by without someone somewhere ask me about that solo."
Really? Okay.
And it was performed by a gentleman named Mike Garson. And I won't read this whole quote, but basically, Bowie said, well, Garson started playing a simple English rock and roll tune on the piano. And Garson had just met Bowie at the time. And he said this, "I just met him, so I played a blues solo." But then he said, "No, that's not what I want," said Bowie. And then I played a Latin solo. Again, Bowie said, no, that's not what I want. He then continued, "You told me you play the avant-garde music. Play that stuff." And I said, "Are you sure? Because you might not be working anymore." So he did, yeah. And so, well, that's so cool because that's Bowie, right? And so this piano player, again, his name is Mike Garson. He did that solo, Nathan. That's the one in first take.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I wasn't looking up any of that. I was just trying to make sure I got my terminology right. Is all. I was looking up the term for music when it does that. There's two words that is often used. One is discordant, meaning the notes don't really line up with each other, or it's very like hard to hear. It's hard on your ears because it just doesn't. It's not resolved. And then the other one is dissonant. Both related. They're very similar meaning for both. That sound, that's exactly what that is. And the really cool thing about those sounds, the avant-garde sound, those are the roots of modern jazz. When you look back to the early post-World War I era for music, strange sounding stuff. Like I took a course called History of Music. And right around that time, that's when like artists were really pushing, because they like World War I kind of threw out all kinds of conventions. So people just went like, I can play whatever I want, and art for art's sake kind of a thing. And they played all kinds of weird stuff, and that kind of mixed in with the 20s, and you get kind of that jazzy sound mixed in with kind of black southern folk music, and then you got this new sound. Really kind of cool.
That's very interesting. Thank you, Nathan. Sorry, you're educating me, and I appreciate you educating me.
Oh, that's all right. I'm probably wrong. I just realized it, but
that we're wrong and everything, and people in the comments will let us know. All right, so I'm glad I caught that. Because I don't know David Bowie, Amanda, who sent us this PayPal reaction pledge. Thank you. I thought they were different songs from different albums. My apologies. So I guess she wants to keep this as a theme. This is all songs from this album, but some of these live performances might be, I think one of them is 2000. So all the songs come from this album,
cool.
The 3 live performances. But this one is 1973, so this is shortly after the album's release. We're going to have a live performance here. So it's kind of cool to see, to see a 1973 Bowie. I'm going to be very interested in seeing what he looks like and sounds like here. Well, it tells us right here, it's filmed from the London Weekend Television. Okay. And I just want to say before we get into it, I'm really interested. I think we've really enjoyed David Bowie so far. And I know I shouldn't be surprised, but I am about how much I'm digging him and his performance and his uniqueness. He's one of those artists where like, I'm interested to see what he's going to do. And that's a sign of a good artist.
Well, I think in terms of musical, if you want to call yourself a music aficionado, you kind of have to know Bowie.
Well, excuse me.
So, music snobs, pay attention.
Yes. Which that we're not. I mean, I'm a music idiot. That's all it is. I'm not a snob.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
All right.
48 years ago. Oh man.
There we go.
The day that David Bowie came into the studio, he looked incredible, wearing glamorous clothes and perfectly applied makeup. And I thought he'd arrived all ready to sing, but just before he was due to go on, he disappeared to change and re-emerged looking even more glamorous. David Bowie.
Why did that's a weird
effect.
Let me put my arms around your head. Gee, it's hot. Let's go to bed. Don't forget to turn on the light. Don't laugh, babe, it'll be alright. Pour me out another phone. I'll ring and see if your friends are home. Perhaps the strange ones in the dome can lend us a book we can read up alone.
So 2 different colored eyes?
Try to get
Oh,
it all
probably.
like once before. When Jagger stared in people's eyes and scored like the video films we saw. His name was always Buddy, and he strung an ass to stay. And she'd sigh like Twig the Wonder Kid and turn her face away. She's uncertain if she likes him,
The basis.
but she knows she really loves him.
Those are true lamb chops.
For the ravers, it's a driving Saturday. Young foreman braided work that neither hands nor limbs would burst. It's hard enough to keep formation amid this fallout saturation. Cursing at the astronet that stands in steel by his cabinet. He's crashing out with Sylvian, the bureau supply for aging men. With snorting head, he gazes to the shore, which once had raised a raging sea, but no more. Like the video films he saw. His name was always Buddy, and strung an ass to stay. And she'd sigh like Twig the Wonder Kid and turn her face away. She's uncertain if she likes him, but she knows she really loves him. It's a crash course for the ravers. It's a driving Saturday. Yes, his name was always Buddy, and he'd strung an ass to stay. And she'd sigh like Twig the Wonder Kid and turn her face away. She's uncertain if she likes him, but she knows she really loves him. It's a crash course for the ravers. It's a driving Saturday. Yeah. Woo. Driving Saturday. Yes, and driving Saturday. It's a driving Saturday. It's a, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Saturday. It's
Now, I wonder if this was just want to say goodbye to the people on our Discord. Saying goodbye. Yeah, we'll talk to you later, brother. I think his vocals were live there. I think, but the band wasn't.
Okay.
'Cause
Yeah,
they did
because there's no saxophone.
Yeah, there's no saxophone. The backup singers weren't singing, and the drum guy wasn't playing the proper drum beat.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I know a lot of those early, especially the UK pop, they do American Bandstand back in the day, but they would get the artists out, and they just didn't have the equipment really for those studios to, through the soundboard. It was more of they played the track, but there's an audience there, so I don't know what they heard, but I'm pretty certain David, because I don't know the studio version, it sounded like a raw vocal performance.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention. I was more entranced by the whole thing. Like I'm watching David do this and going like, I don't know anyone that could have the confidence to pull off, those outfits, the like,
yeah, I know
what was going on there. And what really struck me is like, this is, to me, they look like straight out of the 80s. And like I say, like the front of that cover looks like what I thought was more of an 80s thing. This is like just barely out of the 60s. Like we're just into the early 70s, and here's this very like colorful, very, over the top kind of presentation. And yeah, I was just amazed that, and I think that's what I'm going to really like about David Bowie is his confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. I agree. I know what you're saying. I mean, let's be honest. He's 1973. He's wearing makeup, and this, even the host, I think he was trying to
tone down his response.
Just let the audience know, don't be scared. He looks more glamorous. He almost wanted to say flamboyant. I think he wanted to say. Yeah. You could sense that he wanted to say just beware. You could kind of tell, like, I could be reading too much into it, but this was 48 years ago. Nowadays it's like nobody cares, but back then to see men in makeup was still very kind of taboo. And but it is just a costume. It's funny how our stigma that we put in society on things, but man wearing makeup, well, yeah, it's just face paint. It's a costume. It's a design. It's a mask. But anyways, he's a performer, and yeah, he's cool. He's handsome. He's original, unique, different, weird, all those things, and that's what makes him an artist. Yeah, absolutely. Part of his showmanship is his showmanship. That's what he does. Yeah, it was a fun, nice song. Kind of had that 70s or 60s sort of doo-wop sound to it, about Saturday Night Drive-In. And it's kind of a straightforward kind of rock song. I think that's why Amanda, why she wanted us to see this performance, for the very reasons that we're talking about, to see him in that stage, on the stage of his career, what he looked like, his outfit, his getup, which I really like seeing, actually. Yeah. So, all right. So the third video and or song that Amanda wants us to listen to from this album is Panic in Detroit. And this performance we're going to listen to, as you can see on the title here, is from the 1976 performance, audio only, but it's recorded live at the Athena Sally? I don't know. Sorry. Athena's.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Live at Nassau. Sorry, it was live at Nassau Coliseum. 1976. You and I were 1 year old when this came out. And for the record, if you see me moving my lips with the song, it's because I have the lyrics up on my computer. So people, you're not listening to this for the first. Yeah. Okay. So
okay,
let's do it.
Cowbell.
Oh.
Such a humble man, only survivor of the National People's Gang. When he did asked for an autograph, but he wanted to stay home with someone good for. Panic in Detroit. Captain accidental sirens broke the evening gloom. Police are born of repercussions. They followed none too soon. Taking the strangers, when the only ones left alive. Panic in Detroit. Asked for an autograph. Wanted to stay home with someone with more. Panic in Detroit.
This recording is really well done.
Oh, yeah.
I made my way to school. to smash my favorite slot machine. I jumped beside the cars and stepped in traffic lights.
Where they extend the song a little bit for live.
Yeah. Or jam a little bit.
Yep.
You're hearing this, it's like in stereo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Curious to know.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, wow. Yeah,
My esteemed band of musicians, I'd like to introduce them to you. A fellow Englishman on keyboards, Mr. Tony Kay. Three gentlemen from New York. On guitar, Carlos Alomar. On drums, Dennis Davis. On bass guitar, George Murray. A Canadian but a guitarist nonetheless, Stacey Hayden. Wearing a red shirt. My name's David Bowie.
So it's interesting. But yeah, hold your thought. What you're going to say there. It's great. Well, obviously, great live performance. Amazing sound, jam session. That's a great rock song, and I guess David's done a lot of those. And I never, when I think of David, I don't think of those type of songs. So when I hear them, I'm always very excited to hear that. So he did. It's interesting. He said who was playing guitar because these aren't the same members. I didn't get all their names that were on the recording of the album.
touring members. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in particular, there was Mick Ronson. That was his longtime guitarist. Now, Mick performed with David Bowie from the album "The Man Who Sold the World," which I've heard of that album, 1970, right up until 1973. But he did 5 studio albums with Bowie during those heydays. He passed away in '93, at the age of 46, very young.
Wow.
Of liver cancer. Yeah. So, but it was said now we didn't hear the studio version, but of course the live guitars for this performance played, what he had composed. But that song was considered Mick Ronson's one of his premier guitar performances. Rolling Stone magazine in 2003 listed Mick Ronson as number 64 of the greatest guitarists of all time.
Wow. Okay.
And Panic in Detroit as his essential recording. So even though we didn't hear him live there, that was his composition. So interesting.
I really enjoyed that was like the first real rock version of David Bowie that we've heard. Because he's such a multi-genre kind of artist, right? That again speaks to his genius. But I would say with this one, I guess I was just more taken by the whole, the general quality of the sound of that. Throughout that, I was just like, you hear the drums in stereo. You're hearing very clear everything on that track. So amazing. Yeah. Loved it.
Loved it too. Awesome.
Okay, so for the last, no, not last. This is second last. The next track here is called Cracked Actor. And this one looks like it was more recent. Is that right?
2000. Yeah, more recent. 21 years ago.
yeah. Instead of 48
years ago, or 46
21 years ago. So split the difference.
Yeah, it is weird. You and I, because we're getting old, when we hear of anything 2000, it's like, oh man, that was pretty recent, 2000. But now it's 21 years ago. Don't you feel that way? I still feel like when I'm watching a movie from the 90s, I'm like, that's a fairly recent movie.
yeah. Oh, Forrest Gump. Yeah, it just came out.
I know Forrest Gump's a new movie. What are you talking about?
All right.
37 years ago. Oh, man. Anyways, sorry. Enough reminiscing. All right, here we go. BBC performance. Oh, wow.
Earl Slick on guitar. Mike Glass on keyboards. Mark Plazzi on guitar. Sterling Campbell on drums. Greg Adams also on bass and vocals. Holly Palmer on vocals and bongos. And M. Griner on sampler, clarinet and vocals. This is one of those pretend that we're leaving you song.
I think the keyboardist was the guy that we're talking about before. I think he said Mike Garnis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same. I'm sure the comments let me know. That's cool. I think it was the same name that we mentioned before from the 73 recording there, from the same album. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the same albums. All these songs that come from that album, Aladdin Sane. So that's cool. Obviously, this is probably rocked up a little bit, maybe from the studio album, but great rock song. We were just saying that we haven't heard very much rock Bowie, and this one just amped it up even more than the one we just heard.
I'd be really curious to hear the original compared to that. Really, like, because there's a lot of sounds there that I was like, oh, that's a 90s sound. Like,
sure.
The wah pedal, guitar sound there sounded more 90s than 70s. So
yeah, I would assume it's 2000 technology and sound equipment. It's amped up, it's ramped up, it's got the probably more oomph and pump than the maybe the original, which is maybe why again Amanda wanted us to hear she might have heard that we like those pounding rock songs. So
yeah
no,
I enjoyed it.
Great.
Like, great
yeah,
performance. Great backup and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee if you and I went to David Bowie concert back then, we would have had a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, cool. He was 53 there. So, side note, I checked that out. Looking good. Mm-hmm. Aging naturally, which is the way to do it. Just age naturally. I've always said that. And, so, all right. Other than the product in his hair, he's aging naturally. All right. I'm one to talk. I've got gel in my hair. Okay, so... yeah, well, now we're going to go back to the studio album, Nathan, and the last song on iTunes. So the last song that we're going to do is called Lady Grinning Soul. Okay. All right. That one. All right. Aladdin Sane, again, from the same album. The last song we're going to do is Lady Grinning Soul. Studio version is what Amanda wanted, so Amanda shall get it. Here we go. I had a feeling it might be a softer song. I wondered. Oh. A little more theater. Excuse me.
She'll come, she'll go, she'll lay a leaf on you, skin sweet with musky oil, the lady from another grinning soul. Cologne she wears, silver and America. She'll drive a beetle car and beat you down at cool canasta. And when the clothes are strewn, don't be afraid of the food. Touch the fullness of her breast, feel the love of her caress. She will be your living end. She'll come, she'll go, she'll lay belief on you, but she won't stake her life on you. How can life become her point of view? And when the clothes are strewn, don't be afraid of the
This is an interesting conclusion, I'd say, to these songs. Like the first song that we listened to had that sort of discordant sound I was talking about earlier, where it's like kind of remember when I was saying that? Like it's like the sounds were all over the place and kind of didn't seem to make sense.
Right.
There's some of that echo in this last song, a little bit. Like it's not as strong, but it's there, right? This kind of like a bit of a resolution, but not quite.
Okay. I really liked it. I like the acoustic playing, the guitar solo at the end. Again, that keyboardist dude is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Haunting vocals, very theatric. Yeah, and I thought it was good. We did it in the order that she told us to do it in, I think, or at least the order she put the songs for us to listen to. And actually, that was chronologically the order they came on the album as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I really like that song. I think that's a song, if you listen to it more, to grow on you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just grew on me right away. Regarding his eye, Nathan, sorry, it's Annie Socoria.
So that's for real. His eyes are different.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it basically means that his pupils were unequally dilated. Unbeknownst to David, this act. Source. Let me say again. He had a damaged muscle in his left eye, and leaving his iris contracting permanently, so it's permanently dilated.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I thought you just had like a contact in or something.
Yeah. Well, maybe he does wear contacts to. Maybe he plays with it or has fun with it, but it's permanently dilated all the time.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, what was your overall thoughts there on the 5 songs from Alladin Sane album?
Well, I mean, this is great. I need more exposure to Bowie. I've like I say, if you want to be able to critique music of any kind, I think David Bowie's required listening. And I'm like you. I'm kind of like a bit not sure, or I didn't know any Bowie. Not that I wasn't sure about it, but I didn't know enough of it, and it was something that I
maybe 5 songs.
Well, yeah, it's always been something where I'd like to know more about it, so I can say like, yeah, I know David Bowie, and I can like talk about it. Yeah, so I love it.
Yeah, well, we've done a handful of songs, 3,000 more to go. I think we'll be there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, that's it. So thank you so much, Amanda, for this awesome journey regarding specifically the songs from Alladin Sane, the live performances you chose from that. It's a great way of doing it. I like that.
Yeah.
Where someone's like, hey, this is one of my favorite albums, but I like these performances from that album. So I think that's a great way of doing it personally. So thank you, Amanda, for doing that. It's cool.
Cool. Yeah, very cool. All right.
Well,
that's
it.